There are homes on the market right now in the Dayton area that I would not wish upon my worst enemy. Yet most buyers have absolutely no idea what they're walking into. I've toured hundreds of homes across the Miami Valley. When I walk into one of these types of properties, I know right away, not worth it. I'm going to break down the 5 major types of houses that I personally would never buy. I'm going to show you the red flags that I look for so that you never unknowingly end up in one of these situations. Let's kick things off with external environmental factors, because honestly, when you find that beautiful house online and you go see it in person, the last thing that most buyers are looking at is what's surrounding that house. You've got tunnel vision on the property itself, but what's around it matters just as much. Aircraft noise. In the Dayton area, we have 2 major sources of aircraft noise that buyers frequently overlook. The first one is the Dayton International Airport. If you're looking at homes in the northern part of the metro, parts of Vandalia, Inglewood, or Clayton, you need to be aware of flight path patterns. It may not be as relentless as living near a major hub, but it's consistent and it will come up when you go to resell. The second, and frankly, the bigger one in this market, is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Wright-Pat is one of the largest and most active Air Force installations in the country. Military aircraft, including cargo planes, fighter jets, and test aircraft, operate out of there regularly. If you're looking at homes in Beaver Creek, Fairborn, or areas directly east of the base, you want to be very deliberate about where you're buying relative to those flight patterns. I've been in houses where you genuinely feel the windows rattle. That affects your day-to-day quality of life, and it absolutely affects your resale. Rail lines. Dayton has a deep railroad history. This city was built on manufacturing and freight, and CSX still runs active lines through the metro today. I've had clients who bought homes near an active rail corridor and didn't realize it until they were living there. Train horns at grade crossings don't operate on a schedule that's convenient for your sleep. If a home is within a half mile of an active rail line, I want to know exactly where those crossings are and how frequently trains run. I personally would not choose to live close to an active line. Interstate and road noise. Dayton sits at the intersection of I-75 and I-70, 2 of the busiest freight corridors in the entire country. I-75 especially never sleeps. Semi-trucks run it around the clock. If you're looking at homes backing up to or sitting close to either of those interstates, or 35, 675, or Route 48 in high traffic stretches, just be honest with yourself about what you're signing up for. These homes are harder to resell, they sit longer on the market, and they sell for less. So maybe save yourself the trouble. Industrial and warehouse zones. Because of its central location and interstate access, the Dayton area has become a significant logistics hub. There are major warehouse and distribution facilities throughout the I-70 and I-75 corridors. That means truck traffic, constant heavy truck traffic. If a home backs up to or sits near an industrial or warehouse zone, you're going to feel it every single day. Other environmental factors to watch are fire stations, police stations, hospitals, necessary and important, but you do not want to live right next to one if you can help it. The sirens add up. The same goes for high-tension power line easements and cell towers. And absolutely pull the flood maps before you make any offer on anything. More on that in a moment. The 2019 tornado outbreak. I have to talk about this because it's something I think every buyer in this market needs to understand. On the night of May 27th into May 28th of 2019, the Dayton area was hit by one of the most significant tornado outbreaks in Ohio history. 13 tornadoes touched down in a matter of hours across Montgomery, Greene, and Miami counties. Communities like Trotwood, Beaver Creek, Brookville, and Salina were devastated. Entire streets were leveled. It was catastrophic. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying don't buy in these areas. Many of these neighborhoods have been rebuilt and are lovely. What I am saying is, if you're looking at a home in one of the affected corridors, you need to know the history of that specific property. Was it repaired? Who was it repaired by? Was the work permitted? What does the permit history show? Were there insurance claims? A lot of cosmetic work got done quickly in the aftermath, and some of it was done very well. Some of it was not. Do not skip that due diligence. Pull the permit history, get a thorough inspection from someone who knows what to look for, and honestly, talk to the neighbors. Neighbors know everything. Flood zones. The Great Miami River runs right through the heart of Dayton, and while the Miami Conservancy District, built after the catastrophic 1913 flood, has done an impressive job managing water over the past century, flood risk has not been eliminated. There are still FEMA-designated flood zones throughout the valley, particularly along the Great Miami River, the Mad River, and the Stillwater River corridors. Before you fall in love with the property with a home near any waterway in this market, pull the FEMA flood map. Find out if the home requires flood insurance and what that costs. It can be significant, and it affects your monthly payment in ways buyers don't always anticipate. My best advice for all of these environmental factors: open Google Maps, zoom out, and really look at what's around the property. Then go visit at different times of day, a weekday morning, a weekday evening. You'll learn a lot. The next type of home that I personally would never buy is what I call a money pit, a house that looks like a deal but starts draining your budget from day one. Dayton has a lot of character housing, a lot of it. We've got wonderful post-war neighborhoods from the 1940s and 50s, mid-century ranches, and homes from the 60s and 70s throughout the metro. I love the character of these homes. But character and condition are two different things, and you need to know exactly what you're buying. Here are the specific things that I'm watching for: aging roofs, HVAC, and windows. These are the big three. A roof replacement in this market runs anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000, depending on the size and the material. An HVAC system is $8,000 to $12,000 per unit, and a lot of the two-story homes and larger ranches in the Dayton area have two systems, so multiply that. Window replacements can easily run $20,000 to $30,000 for a full house. If you're walking into a home where all three of these are at or past end of life, you need to price that into your offer or walk away. Louisiana Pacific siding. If I walk up to a house and it has LP siding, I'm extremely cautious. LP siding was widely used from roughly 1985 to 1996, and it has a well-documented history of moisture problems, rot, and failure. There's a lot of it still out there in the Dayton market on homes of that era. Replacing siding is expensive and it's disruptive. Unless the price reflects it, I'm not interested. Polybutylene, or Poly B, was installed in homes between roughly 1978 and 1995, and it is a ticking clock. It's not a question of if it fails, it's when. You're looking for gray or bluish gray plastic pipes, often with brass fittings at the elbows. That's typically where the failure starts. Replacing Poly B runs $5,000 on the low end for a small home and goes up significantly from there based on the size and layout of the house. Synthetic stucco. Hard coat stucco, I can be talked into. Synthetic stucco, I'm walking away. Synthetic stucco is prone to trapping moisture behind it, which leads to rot and structural damage that you often cannot see from the outside. To tell the difference, walk up and knock on it. If it sounds hollow, you're likely looking at synthetic. If it sounds solid, it's probably hard coat. Get a stucco inspector if there's any doubt. Quick references for ages of concern. LP siding, 1985 to 1996. Polybutylene piping, 1978 to 1995, and synthetic stucco, 1980s to the early 2000s. If a home is priced like a fully updated property but has any of these issues lurking, walk away. Number 3, investor flips. The next type of house I'm personally not buying is an investor flip, unless I know the investor and can vouch for the quality of their work. Dayton has seen a significant volume of investor activity over the past several years. We're an affordable market, which attracts a lot of people who took a weekend seminar somewhere and decided to get into flipping. What most of these flippers do is cosmetic work. They do the new paint, new floors, updated fixtures, maybe a kitchen facelift. The stuff that photographs well. The bones of the property, the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC, the foundation often never get touched. They just get covered up. The biggest red flag I look for, how many times has the home sold in the last few years? People on average stay in their homes 8 to 10 years. If a home has changed hands 4 or 5 times in the last 4 or 5 years, something is wrong. That's not normal turnover. That's a problem that keeps getting passed along. Before you buy a flip, get an extremely thorough inspection, not a basic one, a thorough one. Consider a sewer scope, consider an electrical inspection, and look at the permit history. If work has been done without permits, that's a serious red flag. Number 4, bad neighbors. You can't pick your neighbors after closing, but you can do more due diligence before you ever make that offer. When you go see a home, look at what's next door and across the street. If a neighboring property is in advanced disrepair, an overgrown lawn, deferred maintenance, junk in the driveway, and it looks like they've been there a long time, assume that they're still going to be there when you go to resell. Because the next buyer coming through your open house is going to look at the property and think twice. I also strongly recommend visiting the neighborhood at different times, evening, weekends, mornings, to get a real sense of what's going on. And again, talk to neighbors. People tell you things that no disclosure form will ever tell. Bad lots, number 5. You can have a beautiful house and still have a bad deal if the lot is working against you. Steep driveways, either going sharply up or sharply down, affect everyday usability and they affect resale. Buyers notice, especially as people age into a home over time, steep access becomes a real issue. Lots that slope toward the house are a concern for water management. In a market like Dayton, where we get meaningful rainfall and occasional significant weather events, drainage matters. Water that flows toward a foundation instead of away from it leads to water intrusion, basement issues, and potentially structural problems over time. Oddly shaped or heavily landlocked lots, like the pie-shaped or they're very narrow, or backs up to something undesirable. All of these things will come back to you at resale. The lot is permanent. You can renovate a kitchen, you cannot move the house. The Dayton market is genuinely one of the best places in the country right now from a value standpoint. But that also means that there's a lot of properties out there that are priced to move and hiding real problems. Going in with your eyes open, doing your due diligence, and having the right people in your corner makes all the difference. And if you're thinking about buying in the Dayton area and want someone who's going to be straight with you about what you're looking at, reach out. That's what I'm here for.